Weeknights on MeTV.
Ta-da.
Who loves you, baby?
You shouldn't ask.
It's Kojak.
Well, it sounds like music to my ear.
On MeTV.
Look at me.
Why do we love him?
Maybe it's the way I comb my hair.
Or maybe it's his trusty right-hand man.
More bite? Cracker! Cracker! Cracker!
Kojak!
Well, I just wanted to hear how it sounded.
Telly Savalas' Kojak.
Story of my life, baby.
Weeknights at 12:30, 11:30 Central on MeTV.
Who loves you?
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to this edition of Connect with Me, live on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. As usual on a Monday, it's on the air, off the presses, and today our guest is, well, you'll just have to wait and see, won't you? Hey, our telephone number is 436-ME-TV. We're back with our mystery guest in just a moment. And welcome back to the program here on Connect with Me. Hope you had a great weekend, and what a wonderful week it's going to be. Just look at the weather outside. It's great golfing weather, which reminds me, our guest today plays a lot of golf. And, you know, usually on a Monday we ask a member of the media to show up here. We've been doing this show for more than a year now, and every Monday we have a different person from either the electronic media, the Fresno Bee, the radio station KMJ. We've had the likes of Chris Daniel of KMJ, Nancy Osborne, formerly of Channel 30, Dennis Hart of KMJ, George Hostetter. They've all been here, including John Brodsky from KMJ. And today we have the one and only Rich Rodriguez. Let's take a look and a listen.
California's pension system is putting a tremendous strain on the state budget. I'm Rich Rodriguez. Thursday night on the 10 o'clock news, what the retirement system is doing to Valley cities and schools.
KMPH News anchor Rich Rodriguez reports the Clovis School is attempting to bring community into the classroom.
It's everything you might find in a thrift store. Jeans, shirts, shoes, and sweaters. Welcome to Buchanan High's Clothes Closet. Buchanan High School is located in the midst of upscale housing in northeast Fresno. But here's an eye-opening statistic. Nearly 100 students in Clovis Unified are homeless. 5 students at Buchanan. Administrators, students, and community members huddled in December to talk about creating a closet to outfit students in need. 2 months later, they're in business. In Fresno, Rich Rodriguez, KMPH News.
And live in our studio right now is the one and only Rich Rodriguez. He's been coming into your living room for many, many years. He's formerly the anchor at Channel 30. He worked at KSEE 24. Now he is the weekend anchor at KMPH. He also does reporting during the week. He's been around these parts forever, much longer than I have. And you recognize him, you know him, because he's such a friendly guy, comes into your living rooms each and every night doing something, whether it's reporting or anchoring. Rich Rodriguez, our special guest today. Glad to have him in the house. And our number here is 436-ME-TV. 436-ME-TV. Don't forget, turn your sound down and hit option 11. Back with our guest in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Well, here's your chance to talk to Rich Rodriguez live and in the flesh. If you call 436-ME-TV, not much time left, only a half hour. It's only a half-hour show. We don't do 2 hours here. Anyway, it's live on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. And don't forget our brand new telephone number, 436-ME-TV. Finally, after about 2.5 weeks, I memorized the number. We changed it about 2 weeks ago, Rich. Welcome to the program.
I've had problems with phone numbers. I do a radio program, and I thought it was talk, and it's call.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was giving them the wrong.
Alzheimer's kicking in?
Well,
What is that?
sometimes, when you get close to 60, it starts slipping away.
I'm so glad you're here. I've been wanting to ask
you. My
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah, I've been wanting to ask you for the longest time. So, I want to get right to it. You play a lot of golf. I know you do.
I work occasionally.
You love the game of golf, don't you?
I do. I learned how to play at Oak Patch. Back then, Mom and Dad were struggling with 5 kids, and so Oak Patch is near between Ivanhoe and Visalia, and you could get 2 clubs for $25, and then we'd go into the St. Johns River and just take our shoes off and start looking for balls in the sand.
You're kidding, really?
And when we had like 6 balls, we were ready to go play golf. You could play all day. It's a great babysitter, but now I've kind of elevated my game a bit. I've been at Fort Washington since 1999, and a year ago was elected to the board. It's a great place to play golf. It's a challenge every day because you don't have even lies. You've got hills, you've got trees, you've got everything, and it's just it's a great game. And golf is a game that is, as Bagger Vance said, you never perfect it. You just try and get better each day.
Yeah. So I want to get a commitment out of you on the air right here. So am I invited for at least one round out there? I've never played that course.
I guess so, as long as you don't want to walk, because I like to walk the front and ride the back. So if you want to walk all 18, those hills, the legs aren't as strong as they used to be.
I've been playing golf since I was 14, but kind of off and on. And at one point, I got so frustrated with the game. It's like a love-hate relationship.
Well,
I stopped playing for like 3 or 4 years.
And how did that work out for you? Did you get better?
Not good. No, I couldn't get the ball off the tee. My iron shots are pretty good, and my short game isn't bad. But off the tee, oh my God.
And you know what the pros will say? Take a lesson. It really helps. And we have a pro out at Fort Washington, Alan Enos, and he's a jokester and everything. And he'll, oh God, this could take all day. But eventually he finds your swing for you, and it'll cost you a few dollars, but it's worth it when you think about. If you want to be a bowler, you just don't go out and roll the ball. You work with somebody. They'll show you what you're doing wrong. And
how much of it, and we'll get into other stuff here, but I want to know how much of it is it the club?
I can talk about golf all day.
How much is it the clubs, or how much is it the person, or is it a combination of both?
Technology has really, really changed the game. Just think about Tiger Woods. He changed to Nike, and he kind of went into that slump. Nick Watney is playing a Nike ball now in Nike equipment. And, he's starting to find it. But the first few weeks, I think there's just that adjustment period. But when it comes to drivers and, now they have what they call bafflers, which is kind of a combination of an iron and a fairway wood. And the ball just pops off those clubs. Yeah. Even at my age, if you get your swing down, you can hit the ball pretty far.
Let's talk about your career, but where were you born and raised?
Born in Exeter, down the road about 60 miles from here in Tulare County. Okay. Actually grew up in Lynn Cove. It's a little farming community of 200 people. It's not incorporated. And Mom and Dad were married in 48. They still live there today. They've been living in that house since 48.
They're still alive, huh? Congratulations.
Thank you. They've added on to the house a few times. My dad's just about 88. He turns 88 next month. Mom's 85, and they're still going. They're still driving, seeing the world. And, they retired. They both retired at age 60. And
you've got 4 brothers and sisters?
I have, yes. I have one brother and 3 sisters. One is since retired. The 3 sisters are all teachers. One is retired. The other 2 are still going strong. And then my brother is an engineer. I was a broadcaster because I'm not as smart as the others.
I was just going to say that, but, I was kind of holding back, too,
In high school, they were all in the top 10.
Yeah.
I was 19th in my class, but I said, hey, I made the second top 10.
I was going to say, you know, us people in broadcasting, you know, we're not too smart. Dennis Hart and I have talked about this. You don't have to be smart to get into broadcasting.
No,
all you have to
but
do
you
is...
have to have, you know, you have to be well-rounded, understand every subject. I really get a little bit concerned when it has to do with science because I'm a lousy science student.
I was not good either. That and math. Oh, forget it. Anyway, I know what 1 and 1 is, but so your career kind of took off where primarily? Where did you start? We know you worked at Channel 30. We all know you worked at 24. We know all these places. You're very famous around the Central Valley. But where did you start?
I started in Lawrence, Kansas, KLWN. And people back in Lawrence, Kansas used to say it stood for Kansas Low Watt Nuisance. Some people said the only letter missing was the O for clown, clown radio. And it taught me a lot. I was there for 13 months. I learned about writing. You know, you get out of college and you think you got the game mastered. And you have a lot to learn. And going out and talking to people and gathering information and deadlines.
Yeah.
You know, in college, it's like, yeah, I'll write that story for tomorrow. You know, it's go, 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 go. My dream was to work in L.A. I did. I worked at KBC back in mid-'80s for
how
3
long?
years.
Oh,
3 years. I got to anchor a few times. It was like unbelievable. When that tally light came on, I said, this is what I've dreamed about all my life, and I'm here.
L.A.
Yeah. But at the time, divorced, 4 children.
So you've been married twice? You were divorced once?
Yeah. My dad said, you know, son, life is great. He goes, but eventually you'll get all your priorities in order. And what he was trying to say was, it's one thing to chase a career. It's another thing to be able to be with your children and watch them grow.
You've got 4 kids now.
I have 6 kids.
Wow, Rich.
4 are grown and you're out of the house.
You're still sane. That's amazing. That's a story in itself, because I've got kids, 2 and I'm going insane.
Kids, yeah, and you know, and I met your kids yesterday. You know, they keep you young, and you know, they sometimes they just make you so upset, but the majority of the time they just make you so happy. And
I know. Most of the time you're right. Yeah, I've got a big smile on my face because I'm looking at my 2 kids, but on occasion, time to take a deep breath and take a time out. Right here on Connect with Me, we're talking with Rich Rodriguez. The number here, if you want to call in and ask a question, is 436-ME-TV. We're back with Rich Rodriguez, our guest today on Connect with Me in just a moment.
When you need to talk to a private eye.
You want to be talking to Jim Rockford.
That's right. He's the one to talk to.
They don't know who you're talking to. Rockford.
He's got everyone talking.
What kind of lowlife is he?
Takes out half-page ads in a phone book.
I seem to recall the phrase, moderately intelligent private detective.
You have a smart mouth. You're right, I do. But I'm working on changing that.
Jim Rockford is all the talk on MeTV.
He's something else, all right.
Weekdays at 11:10 Central on MeTV.
And we're back here with Rich Rodriguez talking about raising kids and broadcasting. Hey, we do have a phone call, 436-ME-TV, and we're going to take this call right now. Rich is glad to be here, and we're happy to have him. And do we have the call? Is it coming in? It is. Okay, let's take it. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Well, I thought we had it. Nope, we don't. So, Rich, we'll move on here.
Oh my gosh,
so,
we lost our phone call.
All right. So, how did you end up?
They call back.
They might. Well, we didn't pay our bill. So.
Oh, okay.
So you got the chance to anchor and report in L.A. However, you started in a small town, small place like I did. Let's take the call first, and I'll get back to that. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Good morning, and congratulations to Rich's folks still living and happy and healthy. It sounds like he's been blessed a couple of different ways. And also, did you say KABC or KNBC?
ABC. Channel 7.
Okay.
Jerry
Channel
Dunphy, Christine Lund, Paul Moyer, all the heavyweights down there. It was a thrill working with those people.
Oh, that's terrific, Rich. You've had quite a career. My question today for you is regarding Brent DeMonte. Hasn't been but a few months since the community said goodbye to Brent DeMonte. Do you have any reflections or anecdotes or stories that you'd like to share with the audience about the late, great broadcaster Brent DeMonte?
You bet. Brent was one of those guys where people come up to me now and say, "Oh, I've been watching you since I was a kid." I went up to Brent DeMonte and I said to him, "I've been watching you since I was a kid." In Exeter, Lynn Cove area, back in the day, we only got 2 stations. We got 24 and 30. 47 came in really fuzzy. So our family watched 24. And when I met Brent, it was like I met Elvis. I felt the same way when I met Bob Long. Those 2 guys were broadcasters that I said, someday I'm going to be like them, because they were role models for me. And I mean, they were outstanding people in the community. Think about Brent, all the things that he did during his career, announcer for Fresno State. He was a heck of a distance runner. He ran the Boston Marathon.
It's amazing.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Well, you would call him a legend in the Central Valley. Would
Sure.
you not? He's a legend.
Yes,
he was a
yes.
legend. No question about it. And you know what? People are saying the same thing about you now. You've been here so long. How did you end up in the Central Valley?
Well, I was in Kansas, and I just wanted to get out of Kansas so bad. And the day that Elvis died was the day that the world mourned. And it was the happiest day of my broadcasting career at the time.
Really?
It was the day I saw Lawrence, Kansas in the rearview mirror of my U-Haul.
And you came to work at Channel 30 that day?
I started at KMJ.
Oh, okay.
Did the farm show for 3 years at KMJ. And then there was a young lady by the name of Gloria Moraga who walked to the radio station one day and said, "We have an opening at Channel 30 and Rich Rodriguez should apply." I was so excited that she actually knew my name. And so I did. And not the general manager, the news director told me, "You have no experience." I said, "Well, then don't hire me." And he hired me because the GM used to listen to me in the morning on KMJ. And
what year was
found
that,
out
by
he
the way?
loved me. 1980.
Amazing. Another phone call here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me with Rich Rodriguez. How are you?
Yeah, good, John. Listen, just a couple of questions.
Yeah.
First one is, what's the most memorable or one of the most important reports that you had put out since you've been in Fresno, or I guess you'd say, while you're in Fresno? That's one. And how is John Wallace doing if you keep in touch with him?
Okay. Let me do John Wallace first. And, John is a good friend, and we probably talk more on Facebook than any other thing. I think John's doing all right, but he's had some health issues. He's a smoker, and sometimes you pay the price for those kinds of things. But he's still above ground, and I hope
pray that he gets better.
Yeah, that he gets better, because John was one of my idols. I still remember the day that I met him when I walked in the door at Channel 30. He was the first person to greet me at the door.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I just said, I went home and I told my ex-wife at the time, I said, "I met John Wallace today," and she said, "Hon, you're going to work with him. I think he's probably going to talk to you every day." But it was, it was one of those, gosh, because I remember John when he was on the radio on Kino.
Yeah.
And you weren't even around here. I mean, it was a long time.
Yeah.
Most memorable story. It's kind of a long one. I'll try and keep it brief.
Okay.
It was a cancer camp, and we were going up the hill, and Valley Children's Hospital at the time, which is now Children's Hospital, has this cancer camp. We met a young man by the name of Matt, and incredible story. Matt twice had beat cancer, had brain cancer. Third time he didn't beat it. But we were up there, we did the story, and he was, one of the counselors, and grocery store wouldn't let him off. Every night he would drive up, and because he wanted to be a part of the camp, because he knew it was so important for the kids, it was their time for a week to just let go.
Yeah.
On the way up the hill, my photographer complained and said, "Nancy Osborne did this story last year. It's going to be the same story we did last year. Why don't we just pull it out, replay it, Rich?" did an incredible story on this young man. And he was just, a role model for Children's Hospital, for kids. And probably the most touching thing, he went into a coma, and his family called me. They loved the story and said, would you come by? He really admired you. And I went in. He never regained consciousness. We reran the story. It was a magazine show that we used to have on Channel 30. And the photographer came up to me later and said, Rich, I apologize. I know I made your life miserable all the way up to Huntington Lake. That was one of the stories that I will never forget.
Jeez.
And, it was...
It makes you think, it makes you stop and think about all the things, the minute things that we complain about on a daily basis. And here's a kid going through cancer, and many of them out there at Children's go through the same thing, and the parents as well. And you did a terrific story, by the way, too. On top of that, on Holly Carter. She was a guest here on our show.
She is an incredible woman.
Yeah.
And doing great. She's in remission, and
all right. We're talking... Yeah, I'm sorry. We're talking to Rich Rodriguez, 436-ME-TV. We're back with our final segment in just a moment.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new, fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want.
This Amana Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is now just $6.99, and this heavy-duty Maytag Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is only $8.99.
Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
And we're back with our guest here, Rich Rodriguez, on this Monday, on the air, off the presses. You've seen Rich many times, but you know what? I never get tired of looking or listening to this guy on television. Here, take a look.
I was just in total awe after meeting her and interviewing her. Holly Carter is a fighter who credits her faith and will to live for keeping her going. Her battle to beat breast cancer will take a minimum of 15 years, but you won't hear her complain. She's just happy to be alive. Holly Carter owns a communications company. It took one phone call from KMPH to correct the problem. Management at Carmel Crest says it was an honest mistake and no disrespect was intended. In Fresno, Rich Rodriguez, KMPH News.
Shame we can't make an exchange with them.
Sure, we'd take that water.
Yeah, we could use that water.
Put it in a few reservoirs and we'd use it during the summer for sure.
Solve their problem.
Bell will go on display during the 60th anniversary reunion here at Kit Carson in May. As for a permanent place on campus, that's still up in the air. In Hanford, Rich Rodriguez, KMPH News.
Summer's still several weeks away, but it's already starting to feel like it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're about to get into our dry season, and it's very, very dry already. We're running way behind on snow. We're about 55% of where we're supposed to be with the normal snowpack in the season.
In Fresno County alone, there are 2,500 facilities that store hazardous materials. As for big fertilizer plants, that number is reduced to less than 2 dozen. It's not a stampede without a cattle run. Now, the real competition begins at the fairgrounds. Marjorie Cochran was a creative person in the family. She liked to paint, and she taught classes at Michael's in Fresno.
Likely can't communicate yet. Meanwhile, as reporter Jennifer Davis of KMPH News partner Fox News shows us, federal public defenders have agreed to represent the accused bomber in the Boston Marathon.
UFC engagements, but whatever. His nickname is Smooth Henderson, so there you go.
Somehow I can't see my wife getting excited after a fight. You're all sweaty.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know if your wife...
And of course, that was you, Rich, doing your thing over at KMPH. So let me ask you, I can't let you leave the studio without asking you, okay, you ran for Congress a few years ago. You left the greatest job in America, Channel 30, to go run for Congress. What was going through your mind at that time?
Are you asking me whether I was, off my rocker or what? I thought Cal Dooley was vulnerable, and I really thought I was the person who could knock him off.
You almost did.
Well, I know, but...
you came that close.
But close doesn't count. It's not horseshoes.
You threw a scare into him, though.
Well, I did, and then 4 years later, he was out. He was gone. No, I still believe in my heart that there's certain things that need to be done for Central California and this beautiful valley of ours.
Mainly water.
Yeah, and now I do it as a reporter and try and make a difference there.
Yeah. We all read the stories in the paper about what happened at 24. Can you talk about it or no?
Oh, I can talk about it all day long.
Oh, you can? Okay. Give us the short version because we only have about 4 or 5 minutes left.
Sure. I had a general manager who came in and said, hey, we're going to take 25% of your salary, but we're going to let you still work here. And I said, well, tell me that you're taking a 25% salary cut.
So this was at 24?
This was at 24.
Okay.
The general manager was Todd McWilliams. And Todd said, well, no, I'm not. I said, well, sales manager taking a pay cut? No. I go, so I'm the only one. I said, we signed a contract 2 years ago, and it's a 4-year deal. So I'm living up to my part. You do the same.
Yeah.
And he said, you have 2 weeks. I said, really, don't waste my time, because in 2 weeks my answer will be the same. Very stubborn Mexican boy, okay? And
hey, you were sticking to your guns. That's
well,
all.
I did. And 2 weeks later, I saw the HR guy there, and he had checks laid out for me. And I said, there's no counteroffer? He said, no. I said, well, he goes, what's your decision? And I just went,
wow.
I
Amazing.
believe you have to believe in,
You got to believe in yourself.
In yourself.
Yeah, all right. Another call here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Oh, yes. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi.
Good morning.
I hope this isn't. This is kind of like a blooper thing I heard on the air.
Probably happened to me.
I'm not sure if it was Rich or not, but it was during they were shooting a rocket into space, and someone meant to say organism.
You have a great memory, because this is like 15 years ago. Yeah, I was sitting next to Liz Harrison, and said, there they go, they're off in space, and they're going to be studying. And I go, they'll be studying orgasms in space.
That was you.
And yes.
Oh, that was so funny. That tickled me.
And I paused. I went, organisms. And we had one more story to do, and then we went to commercial break, and the studio exploded. There were women who work in sales who came in and said, I can explain the difference. Oh
my God.
And it's one of my that is my all-time blooper.
That's all right. What's your first name?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Peggy.
Peggy, you know what? You just made my week with that phone call. Terrific,
I'm so glad I called.
memory.
Peggy, thanks for reminding me and remembering, because I try to let some of those go.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
should have been on the blooper.
Yeah. I wish we had a copy of that. It would be hilarious to play that back. But anyway, thanks for the call. We got a couple of minutes left. A few weeks ago, we had Nancy Osborne on this program. We mentioned some of the other people, John Malos, that you admired and actually had a chance to work with. Nancy retired. That's a strange story with Nancy, just hitting her head on the way to the studio, slipping, falling. Now she's in retirement. She looked, a little frail, but otherwise pretty good.
Sat by Nancy for 7 years. I think one of the best reporters this market has ever seen.
Yeah.
She just has a way of writing and making you feel, and that's
she's a role model. I would say, wouldn't you say?
She has been in this business. Gosh, I mean, you think about it. She got her master's in theater, drama, and Walt Liss, former GM at Channel 30, saw talent and said, "You're going to be an anchor."
Yeah.
And look how long her career lasted.
Okay, a couple of quick things. We got a minute. You're at KMPH now. You want to stay there for the rest of your career?
Sure.
It's a great place now.
It's a great
right?
place. Yeah. It's post Pappas era, and
they just let you do your thing.
They do.
Yeah.
And at my
you do
age,
it well, Rich.
At my age, they I have fun. I get a chance to have some more input as far as things that I like to cover, and I really enjoy covering stories about people.
You were to pick one person in broadcasting that you admired and wanted to be like, who would that be? In 10 seconds.
Back in the old days, it would have been Dan Rather.
Yeah. All right. You come back, okay?
I will.
You gotta come back to our show. You got to be a regular
I enjoyed
here.
it. It was fun. No, it's
All
fun.
right.
Fastest half hour on TV.
Thanks. Hey, we got that golf date. Remember that? Don't forget.
I won't forget.
All right.
I won't
Rich
forget.
Rodriguez, our special guest today on Me TV Fresno. Tomorrow, another special guest, the owner of Valley Lavash. That's right. We're going to talk to Agnes. Back with more of Connect with Me tomorrow. Have a great day.